Language is everywhere. It's in the conversations we have with friends and family, in the books we read, and even in the thoughts that run through our minds. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, language is an integral part of our daily lives. We use it to talk, to write, and even to think. It's the tool we use to express our feelings, share our ideas, and connect with others. Whether we're jotting down notes, sending a text message, or pondering a complex problem, language is at the core of our communication. But have you ever stopped to wonder how language actually works? How do we form sentences? How do we understand the meaning behind words? These questions might seem simple, but they open the door to a fascinating world of inquiry. Linguistic theory tries to answer this question. It's a field of study that delves into the structure, meaning, and context of language. Linguists, the scientists who study language, explore everything from the sounds we make to the rules that govern sentence structure. It's like a detective looking for clues to understand the mystery of language. Just as a detective pieces together evidence to solve a crime, linguists analyze linguistic data to uncover the underlying principles of language. This essay will explore some of the big questions that linguistic theory tries to answer. What are the universal properties of language? How do different languages compare? What can language tell us about the human mind? We will look at how children learn language, how we understand sentences, and how our brains process linguistic information. The journey of language acquisition in children is particularly fascinating as it reveals the innate capabilities of the human mind, and why languages change over time. Language is not static, it evolves. By studying historical texts and comparing them to modern usage, linguists can trace the evolution of language and understand the factors that drive linguistic change. Understanding linguistic theory can help us appreciate the complexity and beauty of language. It reveals the intricate patterns and structures that we often take for granted. By delving into linguistic theory, we gain a deeper appreciation for the richness of human communication. It can also help us communicate more effectively. By understanding the nuances of language, we can become better communicators, whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or cross-cultural interactions. So, let's dive in and explore the fascinating world of linguistic theory. Together, we'll uncover the secrets of language and gain insights that will enrich our understanding of this fundamental aspect of human life. Linguistic theory is a bit like grammar, but much bigger. It's not just about the rules of a language, but about understanding the very nature of language itself. Imagine grammar as the rules of a game, while linguistic theory is like understanding why the game exists and how it evolved. It's a set of ideas about how language works. Linguistic theory delves into the intricacies of language, exploring its structure, meaning, and context. It seeks to answer fundamental questions like, how do we produce and understand speech? What are the universal properties of languages? And how do languages differ from one another? Linguists, who are like language detectives, study how sounds make words, how words make sentences, and how sentences convey meaning. They analyze the sounds of speech, known as phonetics, and the rules that govern how sounds combine, known as phonology. They also study syntax, which is the structure of sentences, and semantics, which is the meaning of words and sentences, and how we use language to communicate. Pragmatics is another important area, focusing on how context influences the way language is used and understood. For example, the same sentence can have different meanings depending on the situation or the speaker's intention. Think of it like building a house. You need bricks, sounds, wood, words, and a plan, grammar, to build a strong house, language. Just as a house requires a solid foundation and a well-thought-out design, language relies on a complex system of rules and structures to function effectively. To build a strong house, language. Linguistic theory is like the architect's plan, explaining how all the parts fit together. It provides a blueprint for understanding the complexities of language, from the smallest sounds to the largest structures. Linguistic theory is like the architect's plan, explaining how all the parts fit together. It helps us see the big picture and understand the underlying principles that govern all languages. By studying linguistic theory, we can gain insights into the cognitive processes involved in language production and comprehension. It helps us understand why languages are different and how they are similar. Linguistic theory explores the diversity of languages around the world, examining how they have evolved and influenced each other. It also investigates the commonalities that all languages share, shedding light on the universal aspects of human communication. It also helps us understand how language changes over time. Languages are constantly evolving, influenced by social, cultural, and historical factors. Linguistic theory provides tools for tracing these changes and understanding the dynamics of language evolution. By studying the past, we can better understand the present and even make predictions about the future of language. One of the biggest questions in linguistic theory is how children learn language. It seems like magic. From the moment they are born, children are exposed to a world filled with sounds, words, and sentences. They start by listening intently to the voices around them, absorbing the rhythm and melody of their native language. They learn to speak and understand their native language without even trying. This process begins with simple cooing and babbling, which eventually turns into recognizable words and phrases. By the time they are toddlers, they are already forming sentences and engaging in basic conversations. Some linguists believe that language is innate. This theory, often associated with Noam Chomsky, suggests that humans are born with a built-in ability to acquire language. According to this view, our brains come pre-wired with a universal grammar that underlies all human languages. This means we are born with a special ability to learn language. Babies are like little sponges, soaking up the sounds and structures of the language spoken around them. They can distinguish between different phonetic sounds and start to understand the rules of grammar without explicit instruction. It's like a language instinct. This innate ability allows children to rapidly acquire the complex system of communication that is language. They mimic the sounds they hear, gradually refining their pronunciation and expanding their vocabulary. Others believe that language is learned through interaction with others. This perspective, known as the nurture theory, emphasizes the role of social interaction and environmental factors in language development. Children learn language by engaging with their caregivers, peers, and teachers. This is called the nurture theory. According to this view, the more children are exposed to language in their environment, the better they become at using it. Conversations, storytelling, and reading aloud are all crucial activities that help children develop their language skills. Like most things in life, it's probably a combination of both. While we may have an innate capacity for language, the environment in which we grow up plays a significant role in shaping our linguistic abilities. The interaction between nature and nurture creates a rich tapestry of language learning experiences. We are born with the ability to learn language, but we need to interact with others to develop it. The journey of language acquisition is a fascinating interplay between our biological predispositions and the social contexts we are immersed in. By understanding this process, we can better support children's language development and help them become effective communicators. Have you ever noticed how we can understand sentences we've never heard before? That's because our brains are wired for grammar. Grammar is the set of rules that tell us how to put words together to make meaning. Linguists study grammar to understand how our brains process language. They look for patterns in the way we use words and phrases. Understanding grammar is essential for clear communication. It's like the traffic lights of language, telling us when to stop, go, and slow down. Section 5. Third issue. Why do languages change? The evolution of communication. Languages are constantly changing, new words are born, old words die out and pronunciations shift. Just think about how people spoke 100 years ago. Linguists study language change to understand how languages evolve over time. They look for patterns in the way sounds, words, and grammar change. One reason languages change is because of contact with other languages. For example, English has borrowed many words from French and Latin. Another reason is that language is always adapting to new technologies and ideas. Section 6. Example 1. Spotting the differences. British and American English. British and American English are two varieties of the same language. However, there are some noticeable differences between them, especially in pronunciation and vocabulary. For example, Americans say tomato with a T sound at the end, while Brits pronounce it with a toe sound. These differences highlight how language can evolve differently in different regions. Despite these differences, speakers of British and American English can generally understand each other. This is because the underlying structure of the language is the same. Section 7, Example 2, Untangling Sentences, Grammar in Action. Consider the sentence, the cat chased the mouse. We know who chased whom because of the word order. If we change it to the mouse chased the cat, the meaning changes completely. This simple example demonstrates the power of grammar. It shows how the arrangement of words can dramatically alter the meaning of a sentence. By studying grammar, linguists can understand the rules that govern how we combine words to create meaning. Section 8. Example 3. Language in flux. From Old English to today. Old English, spoken in England from roughly the 5th to the 12th centuries, was very different from modern English. It had different sounds, words, and grammar. Over time, Old English evolved into Middle English, and then into the modern English we speak today. This evolution was influenced by many factors, including contact with other languages and changes in society. By studying how English has changed over time, linguists can understand the forces that drive language change. Section 9. Conclusion: the importance of understanding language. Linguistic theory helps us understand one of the most fundamental aspects of being human: language. It allows us to appreciate the complexity of language and how it shapes our thoughts and interactions. By understanding linguistic theory, we can become more effective communicators. We can learn to use language more precisely and to appreciate the nuances of different languages and dialects. So, the next time you use language, take a moment to think about the amazing system that makes it all possible.